Alright people, what's happening? Welcome back to another F1 2021 video here on the channel in the My Team series. Today is the Canadian Grand Prix at the Circuit Gilles Villenueve. Very fun track name to say. Right now, as I am recording this, boys, I'm currently watching FP1 for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in real life. The real life title battle has came down to the last race. Hopefully you have enjoyed the season so far in real life, and also my season so far in my team here. As you can see, Michael Schumacher is P1 in the driver's standings. We are P9 currently, and the team is currently P2 in the constructor standings. Like I say, if you have enjoyed the series so far, make sure you let me know by smashing like on this video. If we can get 10 likes, that'd be amazing. Obviously the season does end this weekend in real life, but my season on my team will continue for seasons to come. So if you are missing Formula 1 while it's not on the telly, make sure you stay tuned on my channel, because I will be bringing you Formula 1 content even when the season is over in real life, as I check out the new Abu Dhabi layouts right now on FP1 as I am watching it on the telly, like I say. As you can see on your screen though, I've just been going through the vehicle comparison chart, and it says that the Sasuke Racing team is by far the best car on the grid. So let's jump into qualifying here in Canada and see if that's facts or fiction. You know, let's jump in, see what time we can set. Notoriously, I am good around Canada. You know, it's one of my favourite tracks to drive on this game. Last year we did win. Obviously we won in Baku, won in Canada, then won in France back to back. Or 3 back-to-back wins last season. We couldn't get the win over in Baku. I think we came P2 last race in Baku. That was a very, very good race. Make sure you check that one out if you haven't seen it last race, even though I've just spoiled the results. But make sure you go back and check that one out after you've watched this video. It's another entertaining race. But boys, do we have a good race for you in store today here in Canada? It's going to be absolute chaos, probably by the length of the video you've seen. It's a bit of a longer one compared to normal. It's an absolutely chaotic race. Trust me, boys, you don't want to miss this one. Make sure you stay tuned till the end of the video so you don't miss anything that happens in this race here. But hopefully we can set a good time here in quali. We're currently in P9 here in Q1, so we knew we had to go again just to try and secure that place, as Max Verstappen sets a blinder of a lap around Abu Dhabi here. I'll try not to cross over too much to the real life, but I am watching it in the background, like I say. But yeah, man, so we are 2.5 tenths up on our previous lap. Hopefully this is going to put us up into, say, the top 5 I was aiming for actually in Q1, to try and just confirm, you know, that we are going to stay in the top 16, is it, for the thing here. But yes, it's like I say, we go purple in sector 3 and actually move up into P2. But what was very surprising, boys, we are in P2, but we're actually 5 tenths behind Michael Schumacher. Like, that is crazy to me, bro. That is absolutely crazy to me, the fact that we were 5 tenths behind Michael. But I guess, you know, that's just the pace of Michael Schumacher. It's Michael Schumacher, the GOAT of Formula 1. Do you know what I mean? Speaking of the GOAT of Formula 1, Lewis Hamilton could steal his title as the GOAT of Formula 1 this weekend if he does beat Max Verstappen in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. But like I say, I didn't want too much crossover with real life, but it is just happening. It's all live right now. Into Q2 here on the medium tyres, boys. We are trying to set our fastest lap in Q2 on the medium tyres, which of course means we can start the race on medium tyres. You can see all the people in the top left are on medium tyres: Perez, Bottas, Hamilton, Norris, and we've already set one lap there on the medium tyres, which put us up into P5. But we're currently going 2 tenths faster than that, even though we did do track limits through turn the downhill section is. I don't care, bro. You know, like I say, the track limits on this game are very inconsistent sometimes, and you know, it doesn't invalidate our lap time for some reason on my team, even though it does on time trial. I don't know what that setting is, but yeah, anyway, I don't care sometimes about the track limits, bro. I'm trying to just provide entertaining content, and you know, if we stick to the rules too much, then it's not going to be entertaining, bro. You know what I mean? Anyway, we're going to be 1.3 tenths up on our previous lap, and Norris and Hamilton, you can see they're going onto soft tyres, and as we completely cut the corner of the chicane, we crossed the line faster, purple in sector 3. We actually gained 3 tenths from cutting the corner there, so we would have improved on our lap anyway. But Bottas comes out behind now in the Mercedes on soft tyres, and we actually managed to make it through, boys, to Q3 on medium tyres. So does Valtteri Bottas, Sergio Perez, Michael Schumacher and Max Verstappen. Everyone else going to be on the softs. So it's going to be an interesting battle in the top 10 here at the start of the race to see obviously who comes out on top. Hopefully we can get a good starting position from a good result in Q3 here. And obviously that will secure a good starting position. That's probably the best. We've took the exit of that chicane all weekend, including in the race. That was a very nice exit out of the final chicane there, breaking up the 100-meter board down to third gear for the left, and then down into second gear momentarily for the right as we fling it round the corner there, trying to grip the road with every last bit of ounce of grip in these tyres that we have. As we come down the downhill section now, very fun section to go through, and we are purple in sector 1. This is looking like a very nice lap so far, boys. We've messed up a little bit there, taking too much curb, slows us down slightly, but we open DRS now as we head down into the next chicane under the little bridge there, down to fourth gear, taking a lot of curb on entry. We could have used a bit more on exit and pushed it a bit wider to the edge, but we don't lose any time there. Heading into the hairpin, breaking our 100-meter board, down into second gear for rotation, short shift up into third, get on the throttle as early as possible on the exits. We make up 2/10 in under braking there in the hairpin there. We are losing a bit of time on the straight, but we've made up a lot of time under braking. Now heading into the final chicane. Can we stay within track limits? We do, but we go into the wall, boys, and we do knock our front wing off. It doesn't cost us too much time, and it was such a good lap, I decided to push to the end anyway. We go 5/10 quicker than our previous lap. Let's see where that's going to put us on the starting grid, and we are going to be P4. Look at that, boys. That's probably the best qualifying performance of the entire, you know, team's history, I think, minus the P2 in Mexico in season 1, which was because of grid penalties. But just raw grid position, P4, that's probably the best I've seen. Let's get to the race.
Hello and welcome to the Ile Notre Dame once again for what promises to be another incredible Canadian Grand Prix at a fiercely competitive circuit, where pole position can often be decided by less than 1/10 of a second. We'll be seeing top speeds of around 210 miles an hour here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with around 2/3 of the lap taken at full throttle. High-speed chicanes spell potential danger, especially at the infamous Wall of Champions. And watch out for overtaking into the hairpin and the final chicane. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat, Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching for as they go down into turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn 1 as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Michael Schumacher yesterday puts him on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, the owner driver, Carlos Sainz, and Hamilton, Bottas, Leclerc, Ricciardo, and Lando Norris, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, George Russell, and Ocon, Mick Schumacher, Stroll, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Yuki Tsunoda, Vettel, Tictum, Latifi, and Nikita Mazepin. And now it's time to head down to the track.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
An absolutely massive lap there, boys, by Michael Schumacher in quali. A whole 10th faster than Max Verstappen in P2. 4/10 quicker than us in P3. You can see we flipped the strategy around there to be medium, soft. And let's get into the race. Of course, starting the race on these medium tyres. It is lights out and away we go. Carlos Sainz there in the Ferrari, looking like he's off to a great start as we head down into turn 1. Sainz on the soft tyres. Like I say, it'll be interesting to see how these medium tyres fare at the start of the race. There goes Carlos Sainz around the outside of Sergio Perez. Now we've got Lewis Hamilton alongside us as well, wheel to wheel, as we head into the downhill section here. And Sainz bullies Perez off the track there, trying to gain track position. We managed to stay ahead of Lewis Hamilton ourselves on soft tyres, behind us as well. But it's wheel to wheel again. Perez and Sainz. It looks like Sainz is going to have the better grip on those soft tyres at the start here. And Carlos Sainz is up from P5, I think, up into P3. What a start from the Spaniard there, as Perez now, the man in front of us in the Red Bull, our main title contender for the title this season in the Constructors. We are going to be battling with Red Bull all season, and we try and send one up the inside of Perez there into the hairpin. It looks like Perez has a little lock up himself, but Perez gets the inside line through the hairpin and gets a much better exit down onto the straight. Lewis Hamilton had a little look on the inside of us there, trying to capitalise on us going slow around the hairpin there as we went very late on the brakes, but it was no use. And we're going to go wheel to wheel with Sergio Perez there through that final chicane. I don't know how we managed to fit 2 cars through there, but we managed to do it. Now Perez trying to launch one back around the outside into turn 1. We have the inside line in turn 1, which means the outside line into turn 2, and there's much better traction around the outside of turn 2 there compared to the inside. So we managed to stay ahead of Sergio Perez. Brilliant move from us to get ahead of Perez there, and we are back up into P4. We obviously lost that position during the start of the race with Carlos Sainz having such a good start. Lap 3 now, you can see Sainz is 2.5 seconds ahead, pulling ahead on those soft tyres, but I'm not even too bothered about how far ahead Sainz is. We're playing the strategy game against Carlos there, because obviously starting on the medium tyres, hopefully it will help us later on in the race going on to the soft tyres while we have less fuel in the car and all stuff like that. Here goes Sergio Perez at the end of the straight though. He's going to send one. I think he had DRS on that lap there. It was going to be lap 3, so DRS would be open. We go very slow through the final chicane because I didn't want to pick up any damage to the undertray of the car. But there goes Lewis Hamilton up the inside into turn 1, and we have the inside line now, but we missed the apex there and end up on the outside of turn 2 and managed to get ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Just look at the cars behind us there, boys. We have Hamilton, Ricciardo, Bottas and Charles Leclerc not too far behind. There goes Daniel Ricciardo looking to eye up a move on Lewis Hamilton, but nothing comes of that. Lap 8 of 35 now. We are chasing down Sergio Perez, and it looks like Perez has been held up by Carlos Sainz. Lap 8 of 35. Sainz's tyres must be falling off at this point. I'm sure the soft tyres don't do that well in terms of durability or length of stint here in Canada, and heading into the hairpin you can see just how close Perez is to Sainz's gearbox there, but thankfully, thanks to Carlos, we've managed to catch up to Sergio, and we are going to have DRS down this home straight now. Like I say, Carlos's tyres, I would not be surprised if he does box this lap. His tyres must have fell off, and obviously the medium tyres have started to kick in. There goes Sergio Perez looking to make a move on Carlos Sainz down onto the chicane, and he's managed to do it before the end of the straight. Nice move from Sergio there. And next up, we are going to try and get past Carlos. Can we send one down into turn 1? We have a little look up the inside, but it's no use. We were too far back to try and send one like that. Sainz, obviously we need to get him cleared so we can catch Perez, the man we are trying to battle this race. Hopefully Sainz we can clear very soon. And coming out of the downhill section there, you see Sainz is a little wobble again. Definitely the tyres going off there. We could have sent it down the inside probably there, but you can see just how slow Sainz is going compared to us. We had to go very slow through that corner there to not rear end him, but we do have DRS. Sainz staying within DRS range to Perez in front of him, but we do need to get Sainz cleared as quickly as possible, because you can see the gap to Perez starting to form in front already, and we can't let him get too far ahead into the distance, otherwise it will be an absolute disaster. And apologies if you hear any noise in the background. The bin men have just turned up outside at 10 o'clock on a Friday. So yeah, anyway, down the back straight here we have DRS on Carlos Sainz. Carlos out of range now to Perez. I thought he was going to squeeze us right into the wall there, but we managed to pass Carlos with ease down the straight, and we are going to have DRS down the next straight. Carlos, I believe, comes into the pits there. Yes, he does. 9 laps on those soft tyres. Like I say, they must have been falling off. A nice pass from us before Perez does before Sainz does pit, sorry. And now we are back into DRS range of Perez through turn 1 and 2. He pulls ahead a little bit through turn 2, but hopefully we can stick with Perez, and we do. Lap 12 we do have DRS down the straight, as you can see, and we did get told to box on lap 12, but boys, we were so close to overtaking Perez, and it looked like we were lapping faster than Perez, so I really wanted to overtake Perez before we came into the pits. I wanted that track position, and I was just basically going to mirror Perez. If he boxed in front of me, I was going to dive straight in behind him. Valtteri Bottas behind us going into the pits now for a new set of tyres. There's our first track limits warning of the race as well. Michael Schumacher up in P1, Max Verstappen in P2. If you were wondering how Michael's getting on, he is still in P1 pole position here in Canada, and he still leads. We're going to have DRS on Perez. Can we send one up the inside? Very awkward place to try and overtake. We miss the apex of the next chicane completely, but we stay in front and we actually give that position back to Perez. Tactical from me, because the DRS zone was coming up. I didn't know whether that was an illegal overtake or not, so I just decided to give the position back. But bit of mind games at play there, because we do get DRS now for the next straight. It's ironic actually, because I did record this before the Jeddah Grand Prix last weekend, and of course that is what Max Verstappen tried to do to Lewis Hamilton. He tried to let him pass before the DRS detection zone, so we could get DRS down the straight, and then obviously Lewis went straight into the back of him. So it's lucky Perez didn't go into the back of us there, because we could have seen some serious damage. But Max Verstappen and Michael Schumacher into the pits now on this lap here, lap 14, and we are still out. We haven't pit yet. Me and Perez still pushing as hard as we can, because like I say, I did want to try and get past Perez. I thought we would have got him there on the straight, but coming downhill, you see how much speed we carry through that downhill corner. It's actually crazy how much speed we carry, and we go up the inside of Perez there. A bit of a full send, but it is a necessary move, super necessary, and we make the move stick, and we do have DRS as well down the straight, even though Perez is not in front of us now. Now can we try and form a gap to Perez? Here's going to be an onboard replay of lap 14 here, or not an onboard replay, but the TV camera replay of lap 14. A very nice move indeed from us as we head downhill. You can see the speed we carry compared to Perez through that downhill corner, where we make up a lot of time to the AI cars here, and you can hardly see the overtake there, but it was a very nice move indeed, if you ask me. And like I say, super necessary to make that move before we come into the pits, because I did want that track position ahead of Sergio, and because it is lap 14, 2 laps after we were scheduled to box, I'm assuming Sergio's going to come in as well, because also it is the lap after obviously his teammate Max Verstappen has pit. Speaking of Max Verstappen, he's just doing some team radio on the telly, but I'll have to view that later. Through the hairpin now, boys. Obviously you can see how close Perez is behind us. It's going to be 4 tenths. He looks a lot closer than 4 tenths behind. I don't know if the telemetry in the top left, or whatever you call it, the delta, is correct. Now it's 2 tenths. He does have DRS on us, like I say, but we are going to both dive into the pits there, and that is absolutely crucial, boys. That is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to be ahead of Perez as we come into the pits. So we're going to see where we do come out. There goes Max Verstappen and Michael Schumacher. Verstappen on soft tyres, Michael on mediums. We actually swapped to soft tyres on our way into the pit. It was supposed to be mediums, if you remember at the start of the race when I changed it. These are used soft tyres that we did use in quali. I don't know why I did go with the softs. I can't actually remember now. It's over a week since I recorded this video. But we come out of the pits, boys, in P3. That is absolutely huge. We obviously started P4 on the grid. We're going to come out though, out of the pits after our first pit stop on soft tyres, ahead of Carlos Sainz and ahead of Lewis Hamilton, and that is just absolutely massive to be in P3. Now Perez did get lost for a bit behind Hamilton and Sainz, but now Perez on soft tyres. Maybe it was the fact that I saw Perez behind us go onto soft tyres. I decided to switch it last minute to soft tyres for ourselves as well. But coming through the final corner now, Perez chasing us down on those soft tyres. I'm trying to match everything Perez does. There he goes round the outside down into turn 1. He had DRS, easy pass for Perez. Can we stick with him though, and hopefully try and gain that position back? We are obviously hoping to get a podium here in Canada. We've had 2 podiums now this season, is it? I can't even remember. I'll have to look back at the season results. But here we go. Can we do the reverse of what Perez just did to us through the final chicane, carrying a lot of speed through there? That was quite nice, if you do ask me. And we're going to have DRS again. Battery is deployed down into turn 1. We full send it now around the outside of turn 2, squeeze him a little onto the apex of turn 2 there, but we managed to make the pass on Sergio Perez. But he's going to try and send one up the inside down into the downhill section. We go too wide through this section here, and I know I don't want to avoid I want to avoid another track limit warning there, so we have to go very slow through that section. But great racing from me and Perez. I'm surprised there's not been any contact between either car yet. Really racing to the edge, really pushing to the limit. Great racing from me and Sergio right now. This is what you're witnessing, and you can see just how close it is. It's going to go right down to the wire, this battle between me and Sergio for this final podium position. I say final because Michael Schumacher is the car ahead in P2, and he is 15.8 seconds ahead. So it's looking like they're out of range unless something crazy happens. I don't know, like a safety car. We'll have to wait and see. Lap 20 of 35 here down the straight. We try and break the toe a little bit to Sergio, who has a massive wobble on the straight there. I don't know where that came from or what happened. Obviously, if you didn't see Baku last week, his teammate had a massive wobble on the straight as well and went straight into the wall, just like he did in real life in Baku. Tyre failure for Max Verstappen. Such a bizarre incident that, like I say, if you haven't seen the Baku episode, make sure you check that one out after this episode. So here on lap 21, at the end of the lap, it's going to be down the straight across the finish line. Sergio right on our gearbox with the RS open, down into turn 1. We go too wide yet again. You've seen this script before. We're going to go again. I push him close to the apex there of turn 2, manage to stay ahead of Sergio, and then we get to lap 22, of course, riding on board. Lap 22 of 35. Can we stay within, you know, this position here in P3, boys? We've got another pit stop to come this race, don't forget. It's a 2-stop strategy here in Canada, and we do want to stay ahead of Sergio for the time we come into the pits for that second pit stop. And you can see in the bottom right, I was checking my MFD, and it allowed Sergio to try and mount an attack there. Caught us sleeping, funnily enough, because I went over the curb and the MFD flashed orange in the bottom right. So I checked it to see if we had damage, but we didn't have damage. Our gearbox had just reached 60% wear. Anyway, lap 22 here, we decided to come in and box for our final time of this race and pick up the medium tyres. Perez stays out. Crucially, Perez stays out. But like I say, this track position, being ahead of Perez before we come into the pits, is going to be absolutely crucial. And let's see if the undercut does work. 2.1 seconds, shout out the team. Great pit stop from them. 2.1 seconds on a pit stop there. Last race we did actually lose a place to Bottas while we were in the pits. I didn't mention that in the commentary, but we had a 2.9 second pit stop, which actually cost us a place to Valtteri there. But as we come through the final chicane now, at the end of the lap, out lap after the pit stop, you can see we passed Perez, Sainz and Norris in the pits. Let's see, where does Sergio come out? Sergio is absolutely miles behind. There's Nikita Mazepin coming out of the pit. He's going to get blue flagged. He's going to have to move out of our way. And he does very nicely indeed before we get to the downhill section. But look at that, boys. Sergio Perez 2 seconds behind. You saw, before we came into the pits, me and Perez were racing wheel to wheel pretty much through every single lap. We decided to go for the undercut, and it's worked out perfectly for us. The undercut of dreams here in Canada. We get a 2 second gap to Sergio Perez. His tyres, of course, going to be 1 lap younger. And you can see he's absolutely pushing those tyres to the edge. Just a few laps later, lap 26 here, Perez is only 1 second behind. And as we go slow through that chicane there, he's managed to pull back within DRS range, which is absolutely huge because now we are into the DRS zone, or at least detection zone, as we come through the hairpin. But boys, the safety car is deployed here on lap 26. Now, there was no prior warning of this, so I checked the race incidents, and Nikita Mazepin has had 3 incidents, it says, on the race directory, and he's in the wall, and I see a red front wing, which is obviously not the red wing of the Haas. That's going to be the Ferrari's front wing. So I'm wondering, boys, what the hell has happened here? Let's go up, let's have a look at Nikita Mazepin. Obviously, he's got blue flags for the cars behind him. There goes 2 Mercedes and a McLaren and a Ferrari. And as we come through the downhill section, boys, you can see there Mazepin is spun around, and there's a big collision with Lando Norris in the McLaren. He was spun around completely 180 there, did Nikita Mazepin. He was facing the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz, and now he's just parked in the middle of the road, and that is a big impact from Charles Leclerc. That is where the front wingers came from, the red front wing of Charles Leclerc's Ferrari. That's a big impact from Charles into Nikita. You can see there, he manages to let the cars past. That is actually Nicholas Latifi, who flies ahead of Mazepin, which forces Daniel Ricciardo into the side of Mazepin. You know, Latifi was getting blue flags as well. But the point I don't understand is why he did this. Why did he just stop in the middle of the road, bro? And then get a massive hit there, you can see, from Charles Leclerc. Obviously, Charles didn't stop his car or anything, so Charles seemed to be okay. You can see there, though, it's just a little collision with Daniel Ricciardo on the apex of the corner. There's Lando going into the side of Nikita. losing the front wing end plate there. Crucially, Lando is going to have to box for a new front wing, and so is this man Charles Leclerc. As he comes downhill, goes straight into the side of Nikita Mazepin there. Such a bizarre incident. We can see on board with Charles now. He takes such a weird line through that corner there. It's looking like he lost control of the car through that corner, and then just goes straight into the side of Mazepin. He could clearly see the yellow flags, and maybe it threw him off a little, but he took such a weird line and carried so much speed through there. Very dangerous from Charles to actually do that. But yeah, man, such a weird, bizarre incident. Latifi should have just waited behind Mazepin as they were getting blue flags, but he decided to send one on Mazepin, even though they were blue flagged. And speaking of Ferrari, Carlos Sainz out of the session, boys. Heading around the hairpin there, you can see his engine is gone. I thought that was just a lock-up on the replay, but no. He pulls over to the side of the road and his engine is gone. Not the Ferrari I expected to retire from this race after what we've just seen happen to Charles Leclerc. But crucially, boys, Michael Schumacher comes into the pits here for his second and final pit stop of the race, and he's going to go onto the soft tyres, boys. Obviously, Michael went medium, soft for his strategy, the strategy we were going to do. But crucially as well, boys, look at this. We've caught the safety car queue, but look how many cars in front. We're currently P3, but look how many cars there are in front of us, boys. Behind the safety car, we've got Giovinazzi, Mazepin, then Michael, and then as we head down to the hairpin, you can see it more clearly now. In front of Michael is not Max Verstappen in P1. It's going to be Yuki Tsunoda, Sebastian Vettel, and a Williams. I don't know who's in the Williams, but boys, look how many cars there are. It's ridiculous that Codemasters don't have the mechanic in the game for cars to unlock themselves, because you can see how chaotic this restart is going to be here, boys. There's 3 cars in front of Michael to Max. 2 cars in front of us to Michael. Like, we have to overtake one there. There's Giovinazzi. Now we have Mazepin and Vettel through turn 1. We have to avoid a collision with Mazepin there, who was going very slow through turn 2. Sebastian Vettel getting lapped though. Not something I thought I'd ever say, to be honest, us lapping Sebastian Vettel. And now we have Yuki Tsunoda in front of us, causing mayhem, as you can see. Get out of the way, Yuki. Thank you. Bloody hell. And now we are down to try and fight against Michael. But you can see the gap Verstappen has pulled to everyone else behind, because Michael's having to battle with the Williams now to try and get past the Williams instead of just being straight behind Max on the restart. You know, it could have been a completely different race here if we were right behind Michael, who was right behind Max on the restart, instead of having to battle through those back markers and the blue flags. Absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion, that Codemasters don't have that mechanic in the game. How hard is it to put a rule in real life into the game, bro? Do you know what I mean? It would be like on FIFA, if you tackle someone in the box, it's a foul, it's a penalty. Imagine they didn't have penalties. Like, imagine if you tackle someone in the box and you didn't get a penalty. It's just the same as that, bro. It's just a simple mechanic, a simple rule in the game, or in the sport in real life, that I don't know why it's not in the game. But now we are trying to launch an attack on Schumacher, and it's not Michael, it's going to be Mick. And there goes Sergio Perez completely wide through turn 1, and now Schumacher's round. This is absolutely chaos here on lap 32 of 35, boys. What is going on? We can see a replay of that now. Perez looking to launch an attack up the inside into turn 1, and he just gets it completely wrong and flies off the curb, boys. And then Mick Schumacher, what are you doing, bro? Mick Schumacher flies into the side of us. We can see on board with Perez now, as you can see, we squeeze him a little bit, but as he heads into turn 1, he turns in too early and then just completely slides off the curb, looking to rejoin the track. He's lost a place there to two Mercedes and a McLaren and an AlphaTauri, which I think was a lapped car anyway. Here's Mick Schumacher. What was Mick thinking? He's been blue flagged to let me and Sergio pass, and then he sends it on me into turn 1. Mick, what are you doing, bro? Like, what are you actually thinking? He's been blue flagged and decided to send it on me into turn 1. Watch this. So he slows down completely, gets out the way nicely for us, and then just gets on the throttle and goes into the side of us. Mick, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? I mean, that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. But yeah, that brings out the yellow flag. But what that also does is wipe out our competition for P3. So you can see now the car behind us is Valtteri Bottas, 1.1 seconds behind. Michael Schumacher, not Mick, is in front by 6 seconds, and then he is 1.1 seconds, 1.2 seconds behind Max Verstappen, but he's just set the fastest lap of the race. So hopefully Schumacher on those soft tyres, now DRS is enabled because there's been 2 laps after the safety car has gone in. Hopefully Michael can catch Verstappen before the end of the race. You know, absolute chaos with the safety car and those cars not being able to unlap themselves. So you can see now the gap to Schumacher between Schumacher and Verstappen is now less than a second as well, so they're going to have DRS with each other, and Bottas is now going to have DRS on us. He's caught up, I don't know how. Maybe his tyres were a bit younger, or maybe he's just been driving better, but he's going to send one around the outside into the hairpin there. We managed to stay with the inside line, which is going to be the better line through the hairpin, and Yuki Tsunoda is out of the session. Boys, speaking of Yuki Tsunoda, he causes trouble trying to pass him after the safety car, and his engine goes anyway. Nice one for that Yuki. Yeah, ironic that he actually retires here. I can't remember if it was season 2 Canada or season 1 Canada. Yuki actually had a spin through that chicane there and went into the wall. So it's ironic he has to retire again there.
The body's taken some damage. You may start to notice it. No tyre concerns at the moment. Just focus on the
now, boys, crucially, you just heard there, our underbody has taken some damage as Bottas tried to summon up the inside, which was no use. Our underbody has taken damage, and you might have noticed in the top left while that was happening, which you probably didn't because it was very subtle, Michael Schumacher has made the pass on Max Verstappen. Let's see how he did it. Through the hairpin now, he's going to have DRS on Max down the straight. But yeah, boys, like I said, we have picked up damage to the underbody. The car for the last 2 laps has felt undrivable, and that is the reason we do have damage to the car. That's probably the reason why Bottas has caught us so easily as well. But is it going to be an easy pass for Michael Schumacher? Verstappen makes it quite difficult, but up the inside into turn 1 on those soft tyres. Just look at the grip Michael has through turn 1 and turn 2 there. Absolutely sensational pace from Michael Schumacher. Great classic overtake from Michael there, and he's back into the lead on the final lap of the race. Things you absolutely love to see. Can he hold on to the end of the race? Can we hold on till the end of the race, boys? Bottas is going to be 4 tenths behind us, 3 tenths behind us. He's going to have DRS down this straight here, and as we come through there, obviously the yellow flag saves us a little. He couldn't send one on us, but he's going to look to send one now down into the hairpin. We try and brake a little bit earlier and let Bottas come up the inside. We go deep and take a late apex there, and I thought he crossed the line there first, and I don't even know, is that the DRS detection point or is it the one before the actual hairpin? But Bottas gets the DRS, which we don't. Michael Schumacher wins the race there, boys, and down into the final chicane, boys. We completely cut the corner pretty much, compromised Bottas's line, and look at this, we have 2 Mercedes and a McLaren behind, but we managed to cross the line there in P3 just about by 0.006 of a second or something like that. The gap between me and Valtteri, you can see we take a very weird line, very slow line through the chicane, and now Bottas, he's looking to send one, but we managed to cross the line and keep that P3 position, boys. Ridiculous race there as the 2 Mercedes and McLaren are so close behind us at the end there. What a race that was. Daniel Ricciardo getting driver of the day. What a fantastic race that was, boys. That chaos caused by Mazepin was absolutely crazy. I've never seen anything like that, with him, the way he just turned and sat in the middle of the road and caused so many collisions. It was such a Mazepin-esque thing to happen. But Michael Schumacher, the GOAT, look at him, he's on P1 again, top spot on the podium, and believe me, boys, I'm sure that won't be the last time we see him there on that top spot on the podium this season. Michael in top stead, top form in the driver's standings at the minute, but that's great points for the team yet again. Like I mentioned earlier, Max Verstappen, our main rival for the drivers, and obviously Red Bull, our main rivals for the constructors. Max Verstappen on P2, big points for Red Bull, not as big as Michael's 26 points, because Michael did get fastest lap of the race there as well. We pick up 15 points, is it, for P3? Why have I just completely forgot what points P3 gets, boys, in an F1 race? It is going to be 15 points for us. The 2 Mercedes behind, like I say, P12, or I mean P4 and P5, 12 and 10 points for them. That's big points for Mercedes, but an absolutely huge point haul for us. Look at the pace of Michael, boys. 107.8 as his fastest lap. That is absolutely ridiculous. That is a whole second nearly faster than Valtteri Bottas, and what, 4 tenths quicker than Max Verstappen's fastest lap. Absolutely insane from Michael there. Carlos Sainz, Yuki Tsunoda, obviously DNF in this race. I thought there was a lot more DNFs. I was actually surprised at the end of the race to only see 2 DNFs. It felt like there was a million DNFs this race, but here's the standings. As you can see, Michael leads the drivers now, extends his lead by 9 points. And we move up into P7. We are 54 points behind Michael. Those 2 DNFs early on in the season just absolutely killed us. But Sasuke Racing is currently P1 in the constructors standings. We lead Red Bull by 8 points. I think that's the first time in team history, correct me if I'm wrong, that we actually lead the driver standings. And it's after a good few races, 6 races in, are we? Something like that. I don't even know. We have a little event here, which we can get team acclaim or resource points. Obviously, we don't need resource points because we are maxed out on everything apart from durability, which I probably won't even end up upgrading the durability department, to be honest, because I thought, you know what, we've got quite good durability department here, but it turns out we don't, as we obviously end up retiring from 2 races already this season, and it was round 6 in Canada. Very good maths, or quick maths from me. I just completely guessed that, to be honest, and it was a very lucky guess. But next up is round 7, the France GP, another race that we did win last year. Hopefully we can go and do the same next time out. It's been a while since we've seen ourselves on the top spot of the podium. Obviously, it's nice to see Michael up there, but I want to be up there myself. Can we get that next time out in France? You'll have to stay tuned and see that race on Monday. Everyone enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and the end of the 2020 F1 season. And I'll see you again on Monday for the continuation of our 2023 F1 season here on the channel. Boys, if you have enjoyed, like, comment, share and subscribe. You know the vibes. I will catch you next time. Take it easy.